Regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, June 8, 2017, at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on June 6, 2017, at 10:41. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Please double check your phones and silence them or turn them off. All councilors are present. Councilor Milo presided. Fury. Oh, Councilor Fury is not here. Oh, he's usually so quiet, I didn't even notice that he wasn't here. All right, Councilor Fury is absent. Councilor Lovely moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous minutes. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Please rise and join us to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Gerard.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have two people signed up. The first one is Laurie Stathopoulos.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. If you could come up and state your name and your address for the record, please, Laurie.
Yeah, let me just keep my glasses. Hi, my name's Laurie Stathopoulos, and I own 125 Essex Street, which I'm a resident, and I have two businesses, Crowhaven Corner and the Salem Witch Walk. And I'm here tonight just to ask a few questions. And I have some concerns about the new ordinance with the tour and some of the cutbacks that might happen. And here are some of my questions. Number one, is it fair to consider a cap on our small businesses who have tours, who pay every year taxes and have to pay through the whole year to survive the winter, especially in the month of October? Is it fair to cap us during those months? Number two, is it fair to call this a safety issue when in fact there's never been any arrest, there's never been any problems with any of our tours? However, the Salem police get 60 to 70 calls a day that I researched about different things going on in Salem during our busy months. Number three, is it fair that the buses that come in from all over, full of tourists, hundreds of tourists and hundreds of students, and they do tours all over our city, and they don't pay and they're not licensed? And the next question is, how would we enforce anything on them? And would that be fair, again, to our small businesses? We must remember, too, that during October is like Christmas for the malls. If we don't have October, we don't have a next year because we have to survive the winter. That's our highest profit month. And with that being said, we also have supported Destination Salem with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of advertisement that goes right back to our city. How could we continue to support the city that we love so very much if we get a cap on how many people when there have never been any arrest or any real reasons? The residents have complaints, and I have one final thing to say. When I first purchased my home in Salem, right next to the lovely old spot, I paid over $600,000. The first week I was there, they pulled my flowers out. The second week I was there, they urinated. The third week I was there were fist fights and they were throwing up. So of course I went to the city and I went to the licensing board. And you know what they said to me? They said, you purchased a home in a city of tourists. You were going to have to learn how to get along and how to work things out. And that's why we have been working with the city on this issue, and I hope to continue. But I hope everybody realizes that we have earned the right to have our tours. We have paid our taxes, we have paid our dues. I've been in business here 20 years, and we have never had a problem. And I thank you for hearing me tonight.
Thank you. Next we have is Tim McGuire.
Hello. and thank you for the time. I apologize for my dress, but I came right from a tour, so I didn't really have time to do anything else. I just wanted to say a couple of things.
I'm sorry, Mr. McGuire, could you please just state your name and your address, please?
Okay, Tim McGuire. I own the shops at 127 Essex Street. I also live at 28 High Street in Salem, and this is my 12th year of owning a business in Salem as a tour owner, as a retail owner. It's my 26th year of working in New England tourism. So I used to run the Boston Tea Party Museum. I was there for 12 years. I ran the Battle of Bunker Hill site for the Park Service. So this is what I've done my whole adult life. So, you know, the tourist industry, I understand how important it is to everyone, all aspects. I want to say a couple of things about the tour ordinance and be a little bit quicker, but I wanted to really get across. 3 years ago, we started a group with 8 of the biggest walking tour companies in the city. We call it the Salem Tour Association, but we put that together because we knew issues would arise, and our plan was that if an issue like how many people are walking through the city, what kind of ramifications that has. If that comes up, we would be together as one unit, and we could work with the city or work with the community to make sure that we're doing things that work for everybody. And that's what I really wanted to get across, and I know the other tour owners did as well, is that, you know, we had a very productive meeting a few weeks back with the mayor's office and the police department and the city planner, and we came up with a lot of good ideas on how to change the licensing structure. So in a lot of our suggestions, safety and courtesy are things that are going to hopefully be on the license, so a new tour guide knows right away these are areas that you don't do this, and this is how you conduct yourself, not just the integrity and history of the city, but how to work with the community here. And that's really the message that we wanted to have, is that it's not a one-sided, the city needs to get us under control. We want to make it clear that we want to work with the community and the city to do whatever we have to do to make things work. You know, from a sound issue, we already imposed on ourselves already what we propose as quiet zones. So certain places like Brown Street, we won't use amplification. You know, how we conduct ourselves as far as blocking sidewalks, where we go to start tours. We're already proactively working on those things for the last month. And, you know, that's something I wanted to really make clear, is that we're open to working properly. You know, one thing I like to add, and this is kind of a funny little thing, but I'm a big guy, right? So when I have a tour group of 2 people, it's really easy for me to block a sidewalk, right? Does it really matter if I have 2 or 10 or 20, or is it a matter of how I conduct that tour group? Am I making sure that people can get by me? Am I making sure? And that's really the issue. You know, it's not so much the amount of people. The one final thing I did want to add, and it's kind of on what Lorelei had mentioned, is that, you know, tours, when I came to town 12 years ago, there were 4 companies, right? Today there's 17, 18 companies. So if you go on sites like TripAdvisor, we've become the #1 thing to do in this city for visitors. You know, we provide one of the only entertainment venues in the evening. So as she had mentioned, in October, my company alone, sometimes on a Friday night, we have 1,500 people, right? Some nights with her and the other 8 companies, you know, we're taking sometimes 5,000 people out of the bar rooms. And I've had many police officers over the years thank me for providing something productive to do. Because without tours at night in October, there's really nothing to do except go to a bar room, you know, get intoxicated. And, you know, we provide services, not just take, you know, and that's another thing we really want to get across, is that we've become a pretty big entity in Salem, you know, so we do give thousands of dollars to advertising. My work with Groupon, just in my company, has brought thousands of people to the city that may not come here. And, you know, that's about all I really have, but I really wanted to get that across, that we've already proactively started to work on some of these issues already. And, you know, we're open to doing anything that we have to do to provide the tours that we're doing. And again, if we do have our numbers cut in half, there's also a lot of people that work with our tour companies. So myself, in October, I have up to 30 employees, right? So if my business was cut in half, I don't need 30 employees. I also don't need to advertise because I would sell out months before October came, so there's ramifications to that too, and I would have to lay off a lot of people. If you took all the tour companies, you might be putting 150 people out of work, Downtown Salem is a tourist-based, as people call it, the cottage industry. We employ a lot of those people that may not have jobs otherwise, so those are things that really need to be considered. What are the ramifications of cutting out businesses down, But anyway, that's all I really have to add, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. Hearings.
Ordered that McLean Middleton, on behalf of Celco Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless, for a grant of location to install one wireless antenna in the public right-of-way on the existing Verizon Telecommunications National Grid utility pole at 120 Margin Street. Routing slip is completed.
Okay, do we have, well, let me just mention that Councilor Fury is now with us. Do we have anybody speak in favor?
Yes. Thank you, Madam President, members of the council. My name is Victor Manugian. I'm with McLean Middleton, 900 Elm Street in Manchester, New Hampshire, representing Celco Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless. To my right, your left in the rear row is Bob Baker, is a colleague, the first gentleman to my right from my firm, and also Ben Madden from Tilson, who's the site act that located this pole. The site we call Salem SC20. The closest residential property to it is 120 Margin Street, and it's a jointly owned pole by Verizon Telecom, the landline, and N-Grid. The pole number is 9917-2542, and we have licenses from both entities to co-locate our equipment on the top of this pole. And we're submitting our request tonight under three laws. First, Mass General Laws, Chapter 166-22, Sections 22 and 25A, which is the State Pole Attachment Act. Secondly, the Federal Pole Attachment Act. And thirdly, your Salem Ordinance 12-91, which also allows for pole attachment, provided this body allows a grant of location petition. And we've submitted a proposed order in line with what we're requesting. As Madam President said, the routing slip has been filled out. We've gotten the necessary sign-offs from the departments. And I do want to just point out that we did, as part of our submission on February 28th of 2017, a report was prepared by Dr. Hayes. He's a specialist in radio frequency emissions, and he submitted his MPE report, and we wanted to do that to cover all bases, as there's a couple residences nearby. And if you read his report, some of it at the end says, in his expert opinion, the facility will comply with all regulatory guidelines for RF exposure to the members of the public. And he also went on to say that the antennas proposed by Verizon would not produce significant changes to the ambient RF environment. So we will be in compliance with the regulations on emissions that are set by the FCC. And briefly, what we're attaching to the pole. I did get a call today from Councilor Lovely, who explained that there were a few butters that had some questions. So I went back to Ben, who spoke with the contacts at Verizon to determine why this spot was picked. They looked at about 7 candidates, and they picked the best candidate, which turned out to be this pole. And the reason for that is the small cells are ground level coverage that the macro towers or rooftop antennas can't reach. And for the small cell to work, it can't be too close to buildings or large trees. And this didn't have that. The councilman also asked me about why we're not on Jefferson Street. The problem with Jefferson Street is that the utility companies will not allow us on the top of those poles. Those have more high tension lines at the top, and they won't let us go above that. So we're on a smaller pole that has lower level lines. So what we're putting on the pole is, at the top, is a cylindrical antenna that looks like an electric transformer. It's 15.1 inches in diameter and 24.2 inches in height. That's what you're allowing. If we were to change it, make it bigger, want to make it bigger, we'd have to come back to this board, to this council. And then there'll be the cabling going down the pole, and then about halfway down, there'll be a AC-DC converter, a remote radio head, which allows this small cell antenna to talk with the big macro site antennas, and then a 60 amp fuse disconnect. But everything will be, no equipment will be below 9 feet 6 inches, so it's above any height that anybody can touch or try to damage the equipment. That's what we're doing. I'd be glad to take any questions, and I will say that this council approved the same type of installation, same equipment, on Highland Avenue in April of 2016. So we would ask for your support on this one as well.
Councilor Lovely?
Yes, Madam President, through you. Attorney Mnuchin, Attorney Baker, and Mr. Madden were very cooperative. I had some questions. A couple of neighbors had some concerns. I can't thank them enough for taking the time to answer the questions and meeting with a couple of the residents prior to the meeting. Just one question that slipped by. Are there going to be any guidelines attached to that pole?
None at all.
Okay.
We check with the owners of the pole to make sure it can handle our equipment,
Okay.
and there will be no guidelines.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilors have any questions? Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this? Anyone who would like to speak opposed? Seeing none? Councilor Lovely?
Move the hearing be closed.
Councilor Lovely moves that the hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Move approval.
Councilor Lovely moves for approval. Any discussion?
None.
No discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Robert St. Pierre to the Salem Licensing Board with a term to expire on June 8th, 2022.
Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. I'll just say briefly that we are really fortunate that former Chief St. Pierre continues to serve on the licensing board, that he does a phenomenal job, and we're truly, truly grateful to have him.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Robert St. Pierre to the Salem Licensing Board, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Michael Quigley to the Salem Youth Commission with a term to expire on June 8th, 2020.
Councilor Ryan.
I'll move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Ryan moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
No discussion?
Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of Michael Quigley's reappointment to the Salem Youth Commission, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $8,000 from the fund balance free cash account to the city council advertising account.
Counselor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection,
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
any discussion?
Thank you. I'll say briefly that because of all of our hard work, that the advertising budget has been depleted. In order for us to get through to the end of this fiscal year, we need the money.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. On Counselor Girad's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the
We
mayor.
have an appropriation of $4,956.34 within the capital outlay renovation and repair account to be expended by the police department to replace a radiator in the generator.
Counselor Girard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection,
Thank you. I also move for adoption.
under discussion.
Thank you again. This is for, to replace a radiator in the police department that desperately needs to be repaired. And we love and honor and respect our police, so they need to stay warm.
Can't run without a radiator. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Girad's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept a donation totaling $1,950 from the Petropolis family to the Park and Recreation Donation Fund.
Counselor Girard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. I just want to send a huge thank you to the Petropolis family. This is going to be for a historic bench, and we greatly appreciate their donation to our great city, and I hope they enjoy that bench for years and years to come and for generations.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Girad's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Communications from the mayor. Counselor Ryan?
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to public guides.
I move to refer to the Committee on Oversight and Legal Affairs and co-post it with the Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion?
The discussion, this is about the changes made to the ordinance regarding the public guides. A couple people spoke about it earlier, so we can put it in committee and talk about it and have them come back so we can take more time on it. I think it's something that needs to be looked at, so I don't think we need to vote on it right now.
Okay. Did we get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd actually prefer we move for first passage on this tonight. It's been up for discussion for quite some time. And I know it was mentioned that there haven't been any police reports. However, there has been a lot of discussion from residents in our city and people who visit here that when you're walking around, especially at certain times of the year, you have to go into the street, you can't get around groups, and also as being drivers, sometimes you're swerving around people who are spilling out into the roadway. So it's safety not only for our pedestrians, but also for our drivers in this sense. I've been part of some of the discussions for this, and I've also heard from other residents, so I actually wanted to amend this later on to add Higginson Square to this at the end, because I have some amplification being used right outside of people's windows later in the evening. But a big part of this is it has been ongoing for a while. I think it's reasonable to let our police chief actually set a limit on this, because if you do go around, even since that conversation that was taken with the mayor about a month ago, there's still the issue of sidewalks completely not being able to be used by people. And that's not just by about 3 people blocking a sidewalk, that's by sometimes 60 people. And it's the sidewalk plus about a quarter of the street. So I think this is something that we should look at sooner versus later. And at this point, if we were going to wait on this, we have 1 meeting left in July.
No, we have.
One in June, 1 in July, but the way ordinances work for this, we have the 2 passages. And if that doesn't get done in July, we're looking out in September. And I do see this as a public safety issue. I don't know if we can't get that out with then if the chief could put in an order to at least get this going in the interim, but I would like to see this moved on.
Counselor Rupley.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm in support of this going to committee. This is important for us to get it right the first time. I don't think we should be in the practice of passing something on first passage and then amending it on second passage. That's not good practice for this council. Let's get it right the first time. Having it in committee allows us to do that. I think it's the first time that this ordinance has come before us. So let's work in committee to do that. If we need an extra, I was with the Ward 2 councilor on her request to have additional meetings through the summer, and I appreciate her point on that. But as was the will of this body, we aren't having scheduled meetings, but apparently we can schedule a special meeting. So I would be in support of a special meeting if we need to get this passed later this summer.
Councilor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd be fine with this going to committee at this particular point with the hope that we could have a meeting before our second June meeting, which would give us a chance to have first passage in June, have second passage in July, and then have it in effect. Right now, I'm a little concerned with going to first passage and then making whatever amendments we might make after the fact that could trigger review on it or could wind up slowing it down even further. So that's a little bit of a concern. I'd like to have the meeting in the next couple of weeks just so we can do it before the next June meeting and then just make sure we get it right. I agree with my colleague on that account, but I do want to get this done sooner than later because it is, I've been around for some of the tours that they were, and some of the crowds that we've had. We do have some issues in that regard. It's not really, really bad, but we do have some problems that we can deal with this, and I think it's better to do it right away.
Councilor Kamiko?
With that being said, Madam President, go with the will of the body, but I just ask if we could get from the licensing department prior to the OLA meeting information about, so another prohibited activity that's part of this section is the ticket sale kiosk that the licensing board is supposed to approve. And I'd just like to know if we actually have some of those approved, because that's also inhibiting some pedestrian access.
So you withdraw your motion?
I never made a motion. I said I'd like to see it go there.
Okay, that sounded like a motion. Okay. All right. So, on Councilor Ryan's motion to move this to ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs, all those in favor?
Co-posted.
Oh, co-posted with the committee of the whole. All those in favor? Opposed? Matter carries. Mayor's informational page, none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017, ordered that there be a trial period of up to 60 days for the following traffic recommendations. Sumner Road, southwesterly bound traffic, stop sign at Bradley Road.
Move for adoption?
Move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. You all may remember last year we reduced the speed limit on Sumner Road as a way to slow down cars that were cutting off the corner on Jefferson Avenue, lights going on to Long Avenue. It hasn't really worked, and at the end of Sumner Road, where it hits Bradley, right before it goes down the hill, it's a little dangerous with the curve, with the intersection of Bradley and children right there, and this will be a means to further slow down the traffic, but more so, hopefully, convince people, drivers, to stay on Jefferson Avenue and go through the light normally rather than whipping through a residential neighborhood. So I ask you all for your support on this measure. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Repley.
This is just a question through you, Madam President, to the Ward 7 Councilor. Would this be something that we would want to perhaps have the Parking and Traffic Commission take up first, look for their recommendation prior to passing this?
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. The Traffic and Parking Board has reviewed it and has voted in support of this. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Councilor Dibble's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, in the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Nursery Street in front of number 11 for a distance of 20 feet. Handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter, and I move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. My constituent on Nursery Street had reached out to me requesting a handicap sign. I asked Lieutenant Przewski to look into this, and the Traffic and Parking Commission has reviewed this, and both of them unanimously support this, so I'm also in favor of it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Durant's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? And it carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Counselor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, June 8, 2017. Ordered that the mayor be requested to submit an appropriation to provide for an increase in the allowance of a certain former city employee who has served the city of Salem for a period not less than 25 years pursuant to the City Council's adoption of the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 90C, which states increasing allowance of an employee's retired or superannuation, and Section 90D, increase in allowance of former employees retired on ordinary disability. Under discussion.
Move for adoption?
We'll move for adoption, please.
Okay. Under discussion?
Yes, this is a provision the City Council passed on December 1st, 1988. And what it allows for is that a former city employee can make whatever they make in retirement, or half of whatever the person doing their job today makes, whichever is greater. So this is a matter of an elderly gentleman maybe getting an $800 raise in his retirement. So it's something we've done many times before. I'd ask for first passage for this.
Any further discussion? Counselor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. Just through you, just for some clarification. So the wording here says former city employees, but are we talking about one employee?
Right now, this is one in this case. This is an ordinance that allows, but it allows for any form. I'm only asking for one tonight, but it allows for former city employees to apply for this provision.
And how many times have we done this before?
We've probably done it like 4 or 5 times since I've been on the council.
How is this identified in the budget? Do you know, is it, because like there was a line item for one employee that was called longevity, there was different types of retirement, the non-contributory retirement, so I'm trying to understand how we would do
in a
this.
case where we have somebody retired unexpectedly and give them $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, we find it the same, we find that money. It's in the, free cash. Let's say this
It comes from free cash?
Well, it comes from somewhere on the budget, that's all. I'm assuming free cash, because you can't have a crystal ball as far as what's going to come before you unexpectedly. Retirements and things like that we don't know about.
Okay.
Council,
Sorry, I'm sorry that the finance director isn't here to clarify.
We'll find it in next year's budget, I guess, but this is a provision to allow an elderly gentleman to get a raise in his retirement that's very minimal, so.
Councilor Buckley, then Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I actually greatly appreciate Councilor Sargent bringing this in. My concern is that before we adopt this tonight, that we instead refer this to committee, because we've not identified who the person is, and I don't think I've seen the order. But that's immaterial. I would want to have the Administration and Finance Committee go posted with the Committee of the Whole to address this issue, to look at if there are any other applicable people that this might apply to, what the ramifications might be. I think it just makes sense for it to go to committee. When it comes out of committee, if the individual, I'm sure, is worthy of it, so I have no problem voting on that particular person, but I just want to get a sense of what we're doing.
Is that a motion?
I would move that this matter would be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Now we're discussing Councilor Epley's motion. Councilor Sargent? Oh, Councilor McCarthy's, I'm sorry, Councilor McCarthy was...
Just to explain what I know about this. This is Mr. Thomas, a retired firefighter, and I'm sure Joe O'Keefe would ask for us to pass this tonight. It comes out of the retirement fund. Again, how many times do we come here before City Council and have 2, 3, 4 former city employees retired unexpectedly and approve $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for sometimes for a total of $100,000 without it ever going to committee? So for $800 to $1,000, we're going to put this into committee. There's no other city employees applying for this right now. Somebody has to apply to get it. This man has applied. He called me, he went to the city clerk, Mass General Laws allows this. I would just ask that we do it just the same way we do a normal retirement.
Counselor McCarthy, Counselor Gerard, Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President. I, per se, don't have a problem with this, but I guess my question is procedure. Well, why didn't he go to the retirement board first, if that was his concern? Did he? So I guess the city clerk's nodding her head, so there's a retirement board in favor of this? I mean, I don't have any backup documentation on any of this, other than the fact that somebody reached out to Council Sargent because he has a comfort level with Council, which is fine. I understand that we all have people we know and they want to reach out to us. But I guess procedurally, has it gone through all the proper channels to be in front of us tonight? Because, I mean, if it has, my only question would be, is kind of relative to what the Ward 4 councilor said, would be, okay, there's one individual, and it doesn't matter to me who the individual is. I mean, Councilor Sargent didn't have to identify him. But I guess the bigger question is the potential of how many more could be in line. I think it's because that, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not, no one is deserving, but all of a sudden, if it opens up a lot, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, so, I mean, I'm not adverse, and I didn't even catch the gentleman's name, and I hope no one repeats it. All I heard was firefighter, so that's enough for me. But I guess my question is I have no, I mean, does this take two passages? Does this take, I mean, I have no idea because I've never seen this before in the time I've been on the council, like, presented to us like this. So that it's, for my questions, if the at-large council or maybe the city clerk was, what's the procedure on this, and are we following procedure? Because it seems like if we have, that's great, but I haven't, it isn't, all I'm seeing is an order to adopt a measure without knowing it went through whatever the proper channels are.
Councilor Gerard, Councilor Epley, Councilor Terrio, Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I have no issues about providing the money to this person. I just want to be clear as to what the process is. So like whenever I present any of the appropriations, I know where the money's coming from. I know what's available. I know where it's going. I know why it's needed. I know all that. I have no associated paperwork to really, I just would like to have some more information about this. I'm more than happy to do this. Like up until we started asking the questions about if he had gone to the retirement board, we didn't know that. I would just like more information. I really want to give this person this money, that I think that they've gone way above and beyond deserving it, but I just want to make sure that we're clear on this. That's all.
Councilor Ripley.
The best analogy would be whenever we do get a retirement announcement, what we get is a letter from the relevant department as well as a sign-off from the finance director, and it's submitted as part of the packet. And so we know who it is, and we know what the process is, and it's a pro forma vote. When we thank them for their service, I did it all last year as the A&F chair. I'm very familiar with it. And so I don't doubt that the person who applied is worthy of it. I want to support it as the good Ward 6 councilor indicated, but it's just going through the proper channels. The Ward 1 councilor mentioned it. What's the procedure? That's all I'm talking about. So I substantively agree with the at-large councilor.
Councilor Turner.
Thank you, Madam President. I pretty much feel the same way on this. I don't want to, and some of it is there are questions about exactly what the amounts are, this question, what the amount is, and I don't want to bring up the details of this particular person's retirement and issues here on the floor on television for everybody to, I don't want to talk about their business in front of everybody in Salem, no offense to them, but so that's why I would prefer to see this and to see this in the next committee meeting, and it's an order, not an ordinance, so from this reading, it doesn't require two passages because it's a request of the mayor, but I would like to see what the numbers are on it, and then I have no problem whatsoever with signing off on it myself and approving it to send along. I've been on this council now for 6 years, and this is the first one of these requests in this form that I've seen in my 6 years. We haven't had one of these before that I've seen in this time, so it's just, it's a procedure that is something that we haven't done and that I'm aware of or in my time, and so I just want to make sure, I just want to understand all the details of it. I have no problem whatsoever with supporting it, but I would simply like to wait till the next meeting to do it so we can find out all these things at the next meeting.
Counselor Ryan.
I don't have a problem with this, because all it is asking the mayor, requesting to submit an application. It's going to go to the mayor's office, then she's going to, if she approves it, it's going to come back to us with all the paperwork. My question is, why didn't it just go to the mayor in the first place? All this is asking us to send a request to the mayor saying to submit appropriations. She could say, no, I don't want to submit it. We're not requiring to do it. All it is a request. I mean, I don't know why this person just didn't go to the mayor's office and then go from there. Or maybe they did, I don't know. So I don't have a problem with this because it's not, we're not approving anything. We're just approving the request to send it over there. And if she sends it back, then we'll get all the paperwork and we can vote on it. So why does it have to go to committee? It's just asking her to do something.
Any further discussion on Counselor Epley's motion? Counselor Sargent.
Please, thank you, Madam President. Yeah, it's, this gentleman, like I say, went through all the process, just as any retiree would do, and he called me about this, and I just asked him to give it to the city clerk and have her do all the checking out on it, which she did. This is a matter of $923.64. I just noticed it on the paperwork here. And I was hoping to get past tonight because Sunday is Firefighter Sunday, and I would love to have told this man that he got his wish. And it's, that would have been very nice to be able to do that. And to be in Mass General Laws, and as Councilor Ryan noticed and said, it has to come, it's a request that we have to make of the mayor, but we have to approve it first because it's a Mass General Law. So once we approve it, I suppose the mayor could veto it if she wanted to, but it has to be approved by us, and then she approves it, and then, as Councilor Ryan said, it would come back to us. But if we need to, in this $150 million budget we have to check this out, then that'd be the will. I'd like to vote on it tonight, but I understand the will of the body.
Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd have to concur. We're not voting for any dollar amount on this at all, Madam President. We're simply asking the mayor to look into this and to resubmit with all the backup information that might answer all of our questions. We're just asking the mayor to submit this back to us. And at that time, once the mayor submits it, we could put it in committee if the questions aren't answered. But I think for tonight, we should simply get this rolling and approve this. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't ask the mayor to look into this and to submit it back to us. We clearly all have a lot of questions on it, so why not vote for it right now, rather than put this in committee, because then it will go back to the mayor, might come back to us, and then have to go to committee again. Let's just get all the information from the mayor and have it submitted to us. I'd like to see this passed tonight.
Counselor Ryan,
Can we
Counselor
suspend the rules to allow the city clerk just to clarify?
Thank you.
Why we need a roll call vote?
Yeah.
The roll call was because I saw money, so it may not even require a roll call, but when I hear money, I think, it would be, This gentleman came to my office after visiting the retirement office. He has been retired for many years, and according to the way that it was explained to me in reading what the law was, that, let's say, I'm just going to throw a hypothetical out there. If you were a captain when you retired, say, of a firefighter, and this is your retirement amount, years down the road, if you meet the requirement, was he had to be no less, he had to have worked for the city for no less than 25 years, which he did, then he has to petition the city to be able to get 50% or whatever it is of, say, what a captain makes now as an annual. That $800, $900, whatever dollars it is only for a year, meaning it's yearly, not monthly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's not a huge amount of money. It's just added $800 to his already retirement pay, because he's been retired for many, many years.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to the city clerk, since we've waived the rules and I was speaking. I guess my question is procedurally, is this the way, I mean, is this the way it normally goes? I mean, I know, trust me, I feel for the gentleman, and I know he went to the retirement board first, but does it go, is this the way, is this the, I guess, is this the proper channel it's supposed to go to?
To tell you the truth, I have never seen it before, and I had to do research backwards to see when he had mentioned that it had been done years ago. When I looked it up, I followed the procedure the way it was done in the 80s, and unfortunately, the response that came back from the mayor, this all went to the mayor, the response that came back from the mayor was that this person that it was going for back then, it was already put in the budget for that person, so they didn't need to go through this process. This is a little different, but I followed what I saw in the past. I had never seen it in the years that I've been doing this either. But the city years ago, under certain conditions, adopted these two Mass General laws to allow these people to petition the council, to petition the mayor, to be able to increase their retirement rate.
Council McCarthy, Council Ripley.
Okay, I just heard one bit of information I hadn't heard previously. So this individual has petitioned solely. So the adoption of these laws means it's just for this one individual.
They're already on the books. These Mass General laws were adopted by council years ago.
So then why are we readopting them?
We're not readopting the ordinance of the Mass General laws. We're using what was already on the books to allow this gentleman to petition to get more money for his retirement pay.
But if they're already on the, okay. But they're already on the books, and he already has, the avenue already exists.
We're following the law.
We're following the avenue that already exists for this gentleman because he meets the criteria of the Mass General law to petition for more money.
Council Ripley.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Madam Clerk, for your comments. As Madam Clerk, as she indicated, this is the first time that she's seen this in this way. My concern is procedurally, while the law may say, while I'm sure that you're reading the law correctly, I think what needs to be done is for a proper process to be determined by our city solicitor, so that it's complying with the state law and complies with the city law.
But like I said, I used an example from the 80s.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying in terms of it coming properly before us, I think that what we do need to do, and that's why it'd be good to go to committee before we get ahead of ourselves. I want to help this gentleman, and I'm sure that we'll come up with a process that we can help him. But if we refer this to committee, we can also, perhaps the committee chair can invite the city solicitor to attend that meeting and perhaps get some insight from her so that we get this right.
Council McCarthy.
I guess then the hearing everything that's going on right now, I guess the proper procedure would be to, I guess, adopt this and then refer it to committee, because either way, the mayor's gonna have to send something back to us, and adopting it doesn't do anything. So if we adopt it and send it to the mayor and at the same time refer the matter to committee, then we can get the procedures right, so that if it does in the future happen again, then we know then we can have it, how it's supposed to be done. Because it seems, it may be backwards, I'm not sure. I know the city clerk did her research, and she's following what happened 20, 30 years ago, which is, the only example that we have, but we just want to make sure that if it happens in the future, that we're getting it right. That's all. So I guess the motion, I guess hearing all the debate would be to take the roll call vote to send this off to the mayor as requested by the at-large council, but at the same time refer the matter of these general laws to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted, and allow, so we can bring the city solicitor and have a discussion, say, okay, how are we supposed to deal with these things if they come in again? Because it's obviously, we're not sure. The clerk did her due diligence as best she could to figure out the best way to get it in front of us as was requested, but we just want to make sure that if the retirement board has got this request, how it moves up the chain.
Is there a second on that motion?
I would adopt as a friendly amendment to my motion that we go for first passage.
No, roll call to adopt.
I'm sorry, thank you. We go for, sorry, we move to adopt, but also refer to the Administration and Finance Committee co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
Second.
Okay. And Counselor Gerard.
Thank you. So I'll just say this now, that we will discuss this at our A&F meeting before the regular city council meeting on the 22nd.
Excellent. Okay.
How can you adopt something and send it to committee? It's either one or the other. You can't do both.
No, you can't do both?
No.
No, you either send it or you...
If you adopt it, it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Counselor McCarthy.
Well, there is a way to do it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Madam President. You could adopt it, and then someone could bring in an order to refer the matter of Mass General Law, Section 32, Section 90C and 90D to committee.
As a late file.
As a late file, which would be non-debatable, which you've already debated, but would then go right to committee.
Tonight.
So if someone wants to, if we adopt it and then someone wants to scribble out that late file, or I will get up and scribble out that late file, the chair of A&F will scribble out that late file, and then that way we can have a discussion relative to Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 90C and 90D at our next A&F meeting.
Counselor Epley.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay, so now we have a motion on the floor to...
Approve.
For adoption.
The roll call vote.
Now, I actually have a question. Because there's no money involved, do we have to do the roll call vote?
Do it just in case.
Want to do it just...
There is money involved as far as...
Okay, so we'll do it by roll call vote.
Just to be on the safe
Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of requesting the mayor appropriate an increase in allowance for a former city employee per Mass General Law 32, Section 90C and 90D, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. I actually have a late file. Councilor,
Please. Time to write.
I know, give you a little time, right?
Thanks.
Councilor Milo?
Thank you, Mr. President. In the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to public consumption of marijuana or tetrahydrocannabinol. Do you want me to read it, or does anybody want to waive the reading? It's going to go to committee. It's to amend an ordinance.
I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it.
Okay, all right, good. All right, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 24, Section 24-19.5 is hereby amended by deleting in Section A has a right of access and also adding the following as the last sentence. Prohibited, no person shall smoke, ingest, or otherwise use or consume marijuana or tetrahydrocannabinol as defined in MGLA C-94C, Section 1, as amended while in or upon any public way or any way to which the public has a right of access, any place to which a member of the public delete has a right of access and replace with access as invitees or licensees, any street, sidewalk, footway, passageway, stairs, bridge, park, playground, beach, recreation area, boat landing, public building, schoolhouse, school ground, cemetery, parking lot, or any area by or under the control of the city or in or upon any bus or other passenger conveyance operated by a common carrier, or any private land, building structure, or place without consent of the owner or person in control there, or in any place accessible to the public. A police officer may arrest without a warrant any person who in his or her presence violates this section. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. I move that this go to the Committee for Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, and that we invite the city solicitor or her representative, the chief, police chief or her representative, and the mayor or her representative.
Second.
And this being a late file, no discussion, we'll send it off to committee. Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted to the Committee of the Whole.
Yeah.
All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Who's doing the lead by? You doing the lead by?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Counselor Turia.
Hey, Madam President, City of Salem City Council, June 8, 2017, order that the Administration and Finance Committee, co-post with the Committee of the Whole, meet to review procedures regarding Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Sections 90C and 90D. And well, the motion's there, and I move that be referred to the Committee of Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
Second? Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Committee reports. Counselor Ryan.
City Council, June 8, 2017, the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval. Secondhand valuables and a tag day license.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. Okay, City of Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017. Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a $290,000 appropriation as part of fiscal year 2018 capital improvement plan, has considered said matter and would recommend move for approval. And this is for the following. This is the City Hall Annex moving expenses for $60,000, general building and maintenance for fire for $25,000, park and field improvements for $25,000, citywide tree inventory $30,000, downtown development study, $50,000, Lorax tree recommendations, $75,000, and acoustic choral panels for the schools, $25,000.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. We had a brief meeting in A&F, and this has actually been part of the bigger picture of what we've been discussing with the capital improvement plan throughout the budget hearings, and this was unanimous in approval.
Any further discussion? On Counselor Giroux's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor Giroux.
I'm going to be up here a while, so get ready. City of Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of authorizing the borrowing of money to pay costs of capital projects in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20, has considered the said matter and would move to adopt the language.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is part of the Mass Municipal Act that we have to approve this language in order to approve all of the capital projects that we have in the budget. So this is routine, but it's also necessary to go forward with everything that's coming.
Any further discussion on Counselor Giroux's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports.
Okay. City Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of the city charging for each written demand issued by the collector a fee of $30 to be added to and collected as part of the tax as authorized by Mass General Law, Chapter 60, Section 15, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. We had an interesting discussion about this on the night that we had the collector's department in, and she explained that this is money that's going into the general fund. That was a question from a few of the councilors. This isn't going to the Kelly and Ryan who, I think, exactly. So this is actually coming back into our general fund, and the big thing, the push for this was finding that when people had any sort of liens, that they were getting charged $15 and ignoring it. So this is trying to get people to pay those liens, and as the as the collector explained, that it's a one-time per year fee.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Before we get further into the committee reports, and I know we're going to get into a lot of the budget here, I'd just like to read a personal statement. because I know we're going to do the budget probably a little bit different than we normally do. So in my capacity as city councilor, I'm expected to take part in the budget approval process. The budget includes funds for paving projects that may be undertaken by Aggregate Industries, my husband's employer. Under the circumstances, a reasonable person could conclude that Aggregate could unduly enjoy my favor or improperly influence me when I perform my official duties, or that I am likely to act or fail to act as a result of this. Therefore, I am filing a disclosure to disclose the facts about this relationship and to dispel the appearance of a conflict of interest. I'm confident that I can perform my official duties objectively and fairly. Thank you. Now, Councilor Gerard, further committee reports.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me make sure I have the right one. Yes. Okay. City of Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017, the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of the following bond orders for fiscal year 2018 General Fund Capital Improvement Program in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 7, has considered the said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage by roll call vote. This is the FY18 CIP funded from the bond premium for the sum of $510,388. The funded from the capital leases for the sum of $503,600. Also funded from bond authorization for the sum of $3,842,460.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation by roll call vote and a discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is something that we went over, these various items that are in the CIP every night that we had our budget hearings, and the committee felt strongly that we were in support of this, and so I just asked for a roll call vote.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the final passage of the bond order for fiscal year 2018, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you. Actually, if I can just take a moment to point out 2 things, that the mayor and the finance director are here with us tonight, so if anybody does have any further questions, that we can suspend the rules to address any questions with them. Also, I do want to thank my committee for their fantastic research and intelligent questions that they asked throughout the process, and it couldn't have been done without them. And I do thank the other members of the Committee of the Whole who attended as well. So, without further ado, City of Salem and City Council, June 8th, 2017, the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of the following bond orders for fiscal year 2018 Water Sewer Capital Improvement Program in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Sections 7 and 8, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption for first passage by roll call vote. This is for the CIP funded from the bond premium for the sum of $651,799, as well as funded from the bond authorization for the sum of $500,000 even.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation for by roll call vote, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, again, this is the same thing with the previous report that we have talked about these over the course of the budget hearings in a couple of the different departments, and we all felt strongly that we were in support of this. So I ask for everyone's support this evening.
Madam Clerk?
Counselor
excuse me, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I want to rise and thank the chair of the committee, but I feel that as we go through these, we had a couple highlights, but one of the highlights of this, as we look at this bond authorization order, is like we are spending money for our aging infrastructure. We all know we have it. We've all seen it. But the interesting thing that came out of the whole budget process is, that hasn't been said here tonight, is there's going to be a 0 increase in water and sewer rates for the next coming year. So I think that's important to note for anybody who's watching at home, anybody in the room that didn't have the ability to attend any of our meetings, that we're looking at a 0 increase in water, 0 increase in sewer. So it's one of those highlights that, as we go along, that I took some notes during the meetings, and I have some, what came up, what was, we look at a budget, everyone says, oh, it's a huge number. It is. It's a big number. But, there are some things to it that, you know, as you look at it, you realize, well, it is a big number, but there are a lot of good things in it. So this is one of the good things in it, you know, that we are actually bonding for repairs, but at the same time is we're not, we've been so due diligent over the last bunch of years, the way we control water and sewer with, you know, how we do it, how we repair it, how we fund it, that this year we're looking at zero increase. So I think that's important. On top of all the repairs that we're going to be doing, zero increase, which is very important. Thank you.
Is there a zero increase?
I hope so.
Just wanted to check.
I hope so.
Any further discussion? Okay. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of first passage of a bond order for FY 2018 Water Sewer Capital Improvement Program for a total of $1,151,799, 10 counselors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor Gerard.
City of Salem and City Council, June 8, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of the fiscal year 2018 proposed 5-year capital plan 2018 to 2022, and has considered the said matter and would recommend adoption by roll call vote.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation by roll call vote, under discussion?
We've been talking about this all along with the budget hearings. As the good Ward 1 counselor pointed out, you know, these numbers are going to sound they're going to sound big. And really, but we're doing a whole lot with very little. And really, this year's budget, I'm happy to say, was only a 3.2% increase over last year's budget. And as the Ward 1 counselor pointed out, that we aren't having any increase in our water and sewer rates, especially in light of the fact that we're at the 3-year end of still paying for water that Dominion used. So we're really, really doing well. And I also want to point out, and I guess this can come up later, but I also want to point out that we're one of the only cities that has a stabilization fund, and our stabilization fund is $5.8 million. So that gives us much better leverage to be able to bond for things, to get better interest rates. And this is great financial forecasting, and this is something that we get recognized for every year with the GFOA, that we continue to be a very fiscally responsible city. And really, if you ask any of us who are on A&F, ask the finance director, the mayor, talk to any of us who are very involved in the budget, there's so much that we can tell you about it. You may not want to ask the question because we won't stop talking about it. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the fiscal 2018 proposed 5-year capital plan, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. We have committee reports, A&F on the budget. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have any paper on this. Am I just supposed to launch into the budget? Just launch right in. Great. So normally what we've done in the past is we've gone department by department, but if nobody has any objections, I would just like to hit the general fund numbers, the bonds, and the enterprise funds, and yes, all 3 of the enterprise funds, and then the final budget number. But I did mention before that the finance director and the mayor are here as well, so if anybody has any further questions. Oh, and we also have to accept the report, please.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Now, what's your recommendation?
So the recommendation is that we instead of going department by department, that we discuss, that we approve the general fund, the water, the enterprise funds, and then the total operating budget.
So do you want to first make a motion to approve the general fund number, and then under discussion, if anybody has any
Perfect, yes.
cuts they like? Okay.
Yes, how's that? I would like to make a motion to approve the general fund for fiscal year 2018 in the total amount of $139,775,428.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, under discussion? No discussion?
No discussion.
No? Okay. On Councilor Gerard's motion to approve the general fund for fiscal year 2018, $139,775,428. Madam Clerk?
Do we need a roll call? We don't need.
Oh, we don't need a roll call vote?
Just at the end.
Yeah, this is...
Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further committee reports.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval for the total sewer enterprise fund in the amount of $6,675,646, and I move for approval by roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilor Famico?
Yeah, Madam President, I would like to actually speak about one of the committee reports for one department budget. When could I do that, Madam President?
Well, we already took the vote on it. And when it was under discussion, that would have been the time to make your motion regarding a department budget. Now we're into the sewer.
I thought that was the complete general budget, Madam President. Which the complete general budget could still have department changes, correct? For the general fund?
Let me see. So you're saying, all right, so in other words, you want to bring your objections under the total operating budget?
Under the general fund, or?
It's one of the operational budgets. I'd like to make a motion.
Well, we just...
So I would say there is going to be a motion to approve the total operating budget, and that would be, if you missed the point on the general fund, that would be the point, I would say, to bring in an objection.
Thank you, Madam
if you have a department objection there. Because I would say it should have gone under the general fund, but it's part of the total budget, so there would be an option.
What page is that on, Madam President? Just because we had put the general one we just voted on, I'd just like to be clear of what page we're on there.
Councilor Ripley.
We're on 22 now.
Councilor Ripley.
Thank you, Madam President. Procedurally, I'm a procedural question. I'm concerned if we've already passed the general fund amount, and we're changing something that's part of the general fund, we've already voted on the total amount. If the Good Ward 2 councilor wishes to change something within the general fund, I think that there actually needs to be a motion for reconsideration on the total general fund amount. That would be the correct procedural way, Madam President. I'm asking, would that be the more better procedural way of going forward?
Would be a motion for immediate reconsideration in hopes it does prevail.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out how to give the councilor an option to do it tonight, that's all.
Oh, but that could happen immediately tonight. If we could.
Oh, okay.
And I also noticed that the Madam Clerk's head was nodding.
Big nod. Big nod.
So, does somebody want to make a motion to reconsider?
I move to make a motion to reconsider in hopes that it does prevail.
To reconsider the general fund?
Reconsider the general fund. I'd like to just take up one committee, and then if that still fails, then go forward again with that vote. We've done it in past meetings when we've re-voted something.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor of reconsideration? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Let's try it again. All those in favor of reconsideration? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all those opposed? Why am I only coming up with 4? All right.
We're down one.
Oh, okay. So it's 6 to 4, so the matter for reconsideration does carry.
Thank you, Madam
Councilor
President.
Fumiko.
Thank you, councilors. I'd like us to actually take up the mayor's departmental budget, if we could. On page 12. Thank you, Madam President. I'd actually move that we reduce the budget by $1,755.40.
Do I have a second? You don't have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. So when I came to the budget meeting, I had concerns relative to the Chief of Staff salary. I'm looking for the reduction of $1,755.40, which is pretty much drops in the bucket. But if we're looking at that, the particular position was have 4.5% increase this year versus a 2.5%, which actually, when we're looking at the grand total, brings it up to over 99,000, which between fiscal year 14 and 18, that's over a 30% increase. What I'm looking to do is subtract it by that amount, so it just makes it the typical 2.5%, which our other employees do receive that are non-union exempt. That would still make the total for that position to be $97,476.96. When I'm looking at that, for the last few years alone, we had a discussion about this a few years back. Between fiscal year 14 and 18, that would still be an increase of 27.85%. Part of the salary is actually covered by capital improvement funds for our Building Salem initiative, which I think is a worthy cause. However, I think the overall position, with that total amount right there being over 99,000, I think that's too much for that type of position, and I don't want to support that grand total. I'm fine with the 2.5% as our typical employees receive that much, but I'm not okay with the 4.5%. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilor Giray.
Thank you, Madam President. We went over this quite a bit in our committee hearings, that if we're making a recommendation to reduce something, we're not going after a particular person, that we're recommending making a reduction to the whole personnel budget, and it is up to that department head as to how they are going to allocate the funds. Second of all, the Building Salem money, that actually comes from the Footprint Community Benefits Agreement, so that's not even coming from the tax, it's not coming from the general fund. And finally, this is something that has been in this position for a couple of years now, and we've actually had this with when we all approved the Community Benefits Agreement a few years ago. This was part of it. So I'm not in favor of reducing something, especially not to go after a particular person.
Councilor Fumiko.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm saying if it were to be applied to that particular position, it could be done that way if the mayor chose to do so.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Fumiko's...
One more thing, Madam President, sorry. I got an email earlier from the finance director. So this is part of the Footprint Community Benefit Agreement funds and other capital improvement projects. So it's a hybrid right there for where the money's coming from. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Fumiko's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
The matter does not carry. Okay, let's go back to the Sewer Enterprise Committee report.
Madam President, point of parliamentary inquiry. Since we reconsidered
now we have
the
to
general
vote
fund, unless any other councilors have proposed amendments, then we can move for general fund approval.
What page are we going to?
That's on page 21. That's procedurally correct.
Yes.
Are there any other amendments? Councilor Giray?
Thank you, Madam President. Again, I move for approval for the total general fund for fiscal year 2018 in the amount of $139,775,428. By roll call vote. Gonna...
This isn't required, but we can do it. Yeah, sure.
Not doing this.
Is there a second?
Second.
What page do you want?
21.
121.
Doing general fund again.
Are there three hands for a roll call vote, or no? I don't see the hands.
No roll call. Do we want roll call?
You don't need it. We need it on the other side.
The end. At the end. Two?
Yeah, we need it for the enterprise funds, and then we need it...
They only see two hands. Oops. All right. I only see two hands. The request for a roll call vote fails.
Fine, I'll be number 3.
Okay.
Fine.
Madam City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
I'd say.
You're good.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of adopting the general fund, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Counselor Gerard.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. Total Sewer Enterprise Fund in the amount of $6,675,646. I move for approval by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of adoption of the Sewer Enterprise Fund for fiscal year 2018, 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Counselor Gerard?
Thank you, Madam President. Or, did you want to do it?
Well, you can do it.
Go ahead, you can do it.
Counselor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. Move for immediate reconsideration. The hope it will not prevail.
All those in favor?
Opposed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I withdraw that.
All those in favor of reconsideration? All those opposed? Okay, the matter doesn't carry. Further committee reports. Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval by roll call vote for the Total Water Enterprise Fund in the amount of $5,887,539. Approval by roll call vote.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Actually, I just want to say briefly that as we're going through this, and we do take these numbers very seriously, and we did have a long discussion with the various department heads about these funds, and we're really pleased that they are able to do what they can with these funds, and we strongly support them.
No further discussion, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. On the matter of the adoption of the Water Enterprise Fund for fiscal year 2018, 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor.
Go for it.
Oh, go ahead.
You do.
Okay. Can I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail?
Okay. On Counselor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
The matter does not carry. Now further committee reports.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval for the Total Trash Enterprise Fund, the amount of $3,311,366. And I move for approval by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No discussion. We greatly appreciate everything that Waste Management does, and it's a much needed a breath of fresh air from what we had before, so they're fantastic.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of approval of the Engineering Trash Enterprise Fund for fiscal 2018, 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Who wants to do this one? Counselor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. Move for immediate... Oh, sorry. Correction.
What was the number that you read, Counselor Giroux?
$3,311,366.
It should be 111, okay.
What?
$3,111,366.
Wait, 3,000,000.
111,366.
Move for immediate reconsideration, and hope it will prevail.
Okay, so it was wrong there. Okay, my apologies.
On Counselor Terrio's motion for reconsideration in the hopes that it will prevail, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, reconsideration carries. Counselor Giroux, let's
Try it again. I move for approval for the total trash enterprise fund in the amount of $3,111,366. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Your second?
I need a second.
Second. Okay. Under discussion?
No.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Didn't I just give it to you?
Roll call.
Yeah, we have to do it again.
do it
because
again.
We reconsidered it because the number was wrong on the agenda.
Just want to get it right.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second.
Okay, Counselor Terrell?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Thank you.
On adoption of the engineering trash fund for fiscal year 2018 in the amount of $3,111,366. 10 counselors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Counselor Terrio.
I would like to thank the Assistant City Clerk for catching the typo.
Save $200,000.
And regain that up to us. And I would like to move for immediate reconsideration. Hope it will not prevail.
On Counselor Terrio's motion, all those in favor?
Oh my God, no.
On Counselor Terrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, the matter does not carry.
Oh my God.
Counselor Gerard.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. Here we are, the total operating budget for... What? Oh, I'm sorry, total enterprise funds. Total enterprise funds for fiscal year 2018 in the total amount of $15,674,551.
We don't have to vote on that total.
We don't have to vote on it, though.
Announce the total.
I'm just announcing it, I guess.
Yeah, just
Okay.
just a yes.
Just a, yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
Now, Counselor Gerard.
total operating budget for the fiscal year 2018 in the amount of $155,449,449.99. Yeah, totally thrown off by this.
Million.
Yeah, $155,449,979. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Second.
Thank you.
Under discussion, Counselor McCarthy?
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Once again, I highlighted the increase in the, or the no increase in the water and sewer budget, but I'd also like to thank the Finance Director, Nina Bridgman over there, keeping us all honest, making sure that we got it all right. The mayor for the budget she brought in. And after I speak, I'd like to waive the rules, allow the mayor to speak before we take the vote. I mean, obviously, it's our budget, but she and her team and all the department heads that came in, they crafted this budget and put it in front of us. They spent the time to come explain what they did. But some of the highlights from the past couple of weeks, I mean, we had the school in last night. 1.7 million new spending for our kids in the city of Salem, going directly towards our kids and funding for IT to upgrade our school system. When we had the police in, 5 new police officers this year that we're bringing on through various grants and through different programmings, fully staffed fire department, which we, actually we're overstaffed a little bit, and actually the police chief and the fire chief both talked about how they're being proactive and looking ahead, trying to anticipate retirements, and actually because of the time that it takes to get individuals through the academy and what that takes to make sure that we're not at a lag where we're behind. We had one of my favorite department heads, John Giardi, in last night, and he talked about LED lights and the amount of money we're saving by the changeover to LED lights, and then he talked briefly about the solar panels that we're putting on the school and how we're going to save, revenue there. It's as much as that number that we all just stammered over a little bit and looked at it, there are a lot of positives. I mean, when I took out of it, I look at, I looked at the Winter Island, we're going to, the function hall, the upgrades that we're going to be spending doing down there, and that's only one part of it. We had a broader based discussion about the whole next level of discussions of what we can do down at Winter Island. I mean, we're doing some with capital improvement funds and some with the Community Preservation Act, but it's a budget that, when you look at it, I mean, even like last year we took a big chunk at roadways. And we're still doing roadways from last year, and I know a lot of people out in, are like, why are there those, and we're finishing them up now. But this year, in the budget, once with the money we're getting from, that we're putting in, we're getting from the state, we're looking at taking on another $2 million worth of roadways this coming fiscal year. On top of that, even more sidewalks. So there was a lot of, when we had all the department heads in and they were coming in and talking to us about what's going on, every one of them said it's busy, we're going to do the work, and, but there's a lot of positives with that. And so I would just, at this time, I was, as much as the budget had, it's a big number, and each department had, some modest increases with personnel. But a lot of the, when you look at the increase in the budget, it was like 3-point-something%. 3.1? 2. Thank you. There are a lot of numbers we try to keep track of over the last couple of weeks, but when you look at 2%, we spent a lot of time the night before last talking about fixed costs, because some of the fixed costs, these are fixed costs that we have no control over, but we try to limit them. I think the Human Resources Director has done a great job with regard with the insurances and the workman's comp and all of that to try to limit that number. So even though they're fixed costs, to try to manage those costs and keep that number down. I think overall, I was if I was speaking for myself, I was very pleased with all the department heads that came in and the time and the effort they took to explain themselves. But, they're the mayor's staff, so at this time, I'd like to waive the rules. We're about to adopt it, and the mayor spent a lot of time on this, so I'll let anyone else talk, but after that, I'd waive the rules, allow the mayor to address us briefly.
Councilor Epley, Councilor Terrio, Councilor Fury, and Councilor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not going to repeat what the good Ward 1 councilor said. He summarized things, I think, very aptly. One thing I would just add is that I really appreciate in this current budget how much we're concentrating on climate. We're taking we have been for several years now, but we've really gone the extra mile in the past couple of years in terms of, the good Ward 1 councilor mentioned it, but with our LED lighting program across the city, that's saving electricity costs in the hundreds of thousands range. We've installed and are installing solar panels on various schools across the city that again will save money for the city exponentially. What's near and dear to my heart are trees and the Lorax Task Force, and one of the commitments that we have from the administration this year within this budget is it only amounts to 0.1% or just less than 0.1% of the total $155 million budget that we're just now passing, but 0.1% going towards trees, that's a pretty good investment. What that amounts to, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's a $30,000 investment that the city is making that's going to be matched by grant dollars for a comprehensive tree inventory for the city. And in addition, there's an increase from what is normally a $5,000, yes, only $5,000 in past years toward installing trees on public lands. But we've increased that by $75,000 this year because we're trying to get to a net zero where we're actually, the amount of trees we're cutting down to the amount of trees that we're actually planting is the same amount. That's the right direction. I want to commend the administration for that, and I thank the A&F committee this year for passing this, and I look forward to passing this tonight.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. This year's budget, this is my 6th budget cycle. I was the chairman of Administration Finance for 2 years working with this. I really appreciate the work. I sat in on several of the meetings this year. And I really do appreciate the work that the Administration Finance Chair did, along with the committee, on this. in my 6 years, this is the first time I've seen a budget that was able to keep the water and sewer increase to zero. That's wonderful. That's a real benefit to the ratepayers. We were able to keep, we're keeping the overall increase in the budget within very reasonable figures at 3.2% overall, and we're still putting a good chunk of money into schools. That's a big benefit. We've done a really good job over the last several years of making investments in processes and in things for the city that are starting to pay off for us now. Keeping some of the insurance costs under control and keeping those increases moderated. We've done a very good job of that over the last couple of years, and as my colleague said, our Human Resources Department has done a very, very good job of identifying and getting people to move into lower cost plans that has helped with that. That's been terrific. We have made investments in the LED lighting, which has saved us on electric costs. We've got the solar panels going in the schools that are saving us on electricity costs. And some of those things are now costs that we're able to take and turn around into keeping. Those savings are helping us increase services and keep the overall budget increases at a modest level. So I'm really excited that we've been able to do that this year. We're seeing all the increases that we've put into our roadways and our sidewalks, as my colleagues mentioned. I've seen a lot of that work has gone on. We did so much work last year on it that with everything going, we couldn't even finish it all before the end of the year. We had so much roadway work to do, and that's all been being wrapped up now. We have more major arteries that are being worked on with the Derby Street the Derby Street reconstruction plan is being worked on. Canal Street's in progress. All that work is Jefferson Avenue is about to get a big bunch of work done over there after Canal Street's open again. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this, even within the limited constraints of the budget that we have. And I'm just really happy that we're able to do as much as we can with this. I mean, there's always more we can do. There's always more costs that are coming up and more things the city has to look forward to. But we've still been able to invest money in doing good things for the community, and doing things like adding more open space, adding parkland and open space, repairing roads, and we're doing all this stuff and still keeping a fairly tight lid on things. So I appreciate the work the committee's done. I appreciate the budget the mayor and the finance director gave to us. I think, again, in 6 years, this process has been going on that I've been here, and every year, they all work hard to make this happen, and I'm glad that we were able to do this.
Councilor Fieri, Councilor Giroux.
Madam President, this is my 20th year in the budget process. And clearly, the whole budget process is a breath of fresh air, To have a capital outlay program, 5 years, never had it before. Amazing. There's a vision statement right there going on into the 21st century. So it's a great credit to Sarah Stanton, Nina Bridgman, our mayor. Every single meeting, they were there. Facts, figures, the personnel was there. It was a team effort, total team effort, everyone down. It's really a moving. But sincerely, Councilor Gerard, in my 20 years serving on this city council, my pleasure, I have never and will never serve as chairman of administration and finance. For obvious reasons. You have done an outstanding job bringing all the people together. So we were in very good hands, all 5 meetings. So a credit to you, great meetings, and I enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to state $155,449,979. I had to get that off my chest, but I also wanted to say that the budget process, this is one of my favorite parts of being a city councilor, because this is where we really learn about everything that Salem is doing. The night that we had Park and Rec, it was fantastic. We're talking about the Muni course. We have a golf course. We have an island. We have beaches. We have 35 parks and playgrounds. We have so many things. We then, of course, we have the university. We have all of these great things. We have different events. We have so many things that happen. And, I think about when people are paying their taxes, that they're investing in this city. And so, again, I may have had my goofy moments, but I really do take this seriously. And I think that this is incredible what we can do with what we have. And and especially what my colleagues were saying about the fantastic personnel that came in and answered all of our questions and gave us a lot of interesting food for thought. I was really happy that I took the Good Word Forest counselor's advice and I televised the meetings again, so hopefully people didn't fall asleep, but hopefully they found them interesting, because these are really exciting, because you should know how your tax dollars are being spent, and I hope that people who did watch, that they're as energized about the great things that we have going on here as I am. I find I always fall in love with the city again every budget cycle. Thank you.
Councilor Dibble, Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to echo our good chairperson's comments just now. It was a pleasure sitting through so many meetings over the last 2 weeks, just about almost every single night except for one. We sat through hours and we asked a lot of questions, and I think I drove our chairperson nuts with me asking so many questions of each department head. I have to say, our department heads on every single department, it just amazed me of the caring and dedication that they have to the city of Salem across the board. And also with Sarah and Nina from the finance department. They were here late every single night asking and answering, not asking, but answering our questions over and over and over again. It was truly a team effort, and it was a privilege to serve on the Administration Finance Committee through all these meetings. So I think it was a good job all around, and again, kudos to the Finance Department.
Councilor Epley.
This is actually just a procedural, this is just for the folks at home, to have them understand the budget process in general. Tonight, we're essentially signing the contract for what we're willing to do, and 6 months from now, when we set the tax rates, that's when we're writing the check. So this is, tonight, this is the commitment we're making on behalf of the city, and I'm proud and happy to support the number, but realizing that the bill's going to come due in 6 months, and so same people around this table will need to make sure that we write that check.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mitch. And before I open up and allow the mayor to speak, with respect to that, the other thing too is we have to realize is we were made aware of the fact that during the budget process, we recognized $1.8 million worth of new growth. That's a big number. I can remember when I was first starting on the council, we were happy with somewhere around $650,000 to $750,000. $1.8 million in new growth means what that new growth is doing is that is offsetting the tax rate. And anybody who knows that as we went through this process 6 months ago, as we're going to be writing the check in 6 months from now, is we left money on the table, and we could go to Tax 101 and explain what the levy is, but we're below the levy. We could have levied more money, and like a lot of towns around us do. We've tried to keep, as much as everyone says, there's a big number, and yes, your taxes do go up every year incrementally, but if you look at Salem, it is a straight line. And it's that slight increase of straight line, and the mayor and I have had conversations in the past. It's like, it's a car payment. You don't want the spikes. You want to keep it as much as you can, anticipate what the increase is going to be, and we've tried to minimize those increases by not maxing ourselves out to the levy. And by having as much as people, look at things, and we look at Salem's got a lot of activity going on right now. And a lot of it's road work and infrastructure stuff that's affecting stuff, but we also got this building going on too. And that new growth is what has helped sustain us. And when we look at we've got the power plant coming on, and then you got the area developed around the power plant. As those come in, that new growth is going to help us offset some of these costs, which is actually going to keep that line flat. So I agree wholeheartedly with that analogy. This is what we're promising to do, but when we come to see how that works out is 6 months from now when we set the tax rate, hopefully we still have room to the levy and we keep that not like this. So with that, if there's no further discussion, I'd move to waive the rules, allow the mayor to address us.
Seeing no objection?
Thank you very much, councilors. I appreciate the chance to come before you again. We've had, I think, a robust discussion at many of the committee meetings, and I want to thank you for digging into the budget, for all the questions, for really helping us, think, I would say, as much as we can with respect to each individual budget, and being able to show that and deliver to you a document that really got into the numbers and helped to understand the why, not just the what.
I really want to thank the finance team, both Sarah and Nina, and frankly, the whole staff really have pulled together to get these documents on your desk. And lastly, I just want to be sure that we are here today recognizing this budget, and for us, the budget's really a value statement. Those of you who have been on this council for a while know we take the work very seriously. We say no a lot before this budget comes into you, so that what we have before you represents our values as our community, part of which is being respectful to taxpayers, but also making sure that we've got the investments we need in our community. Through the good work and collaborative effort of the City Council and the administration, we now have the highest bond rating we've ever had as a community, the highest amount of stabilization funds, while also ensuring that we're making investments in things that matter to our community. So you're seeing increases in education funding, increases in public safety funding, increases in public infrastructure. Those are the investments that we know matter, that frankly we have to make. It costs more not to make those investments in many respects down the road. Appreciate the partnership we've shared. The first budget that we developed, we were doing it when we were in the hole with no money in the stabilization account. We've had to have layoffs. We've had to really work hard to create a culture here where funding mattered, but trying to be respectful of the cost and impact on taxpayers also mattered. I think we've done that. I think we've delivered that. We have GFOA-approved budgets. We're really proud that we do so in an open and transparent way, and just appreciate our ability to collaborate. It's never just about 1 year. We're always looking forward with our capital budget over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, and all of you sort of influence how we think about some of those priorities and where we need to go within our community and where those investments need to be made. So thank you for your time. It's long hours. Not everybody's here on those Tuesday nights at 9:30 or 10 o'clock when we're going through, what's the organ ob of this particular budget item, but you are, and we appreciate your commitment to try and get it right and to do something that's not only good for our community, but it's respectful of taxpayers. So thank you.
And Mayor, I'm not sure if it's because it's Firefighter Sunday or what, but I think that water and sewer rate is even a rate that the late Councilor Joe O'Keefe could support.
You're right, exactly. For sure. The brick in the toilet will be necessary.
So,
Roll call vote. Yep.
we have, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. On the matter of adopting the total operating budget for fiscal year 2018 in the amount of $155,449,979, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Matter does not carry. What's next? Communications from city officials, none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Petitions.
We have a petition for Mobility for a grant of location to install wireless antenna and related equipment onto an existing pole on Loring Avenue at Raymond Road.
Hearing ordered, June 22nd, 2017. Further petitions.
We have a petition from Light Tower to install conduits for a building located at 76 Lafayette Street.
Hearing ordered, June 22nd, 2017. Further petitions.
Held from the last meeting, the communication from the Salem Wreaths Across America informing the council of the date changes to their carnival to be held at the Salem Willows Park and Recreation Commission approval.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I typically don't do this, but I'm going to move to hold it for one more meeting, only because with the budget in the last 2 weeks, I have no real problem with this whatsoever, but I've had between my own personal work schedule and the fact that we have meetings almost every night for the last 2 weeks, I haven't had the opportunity to speak to a few people that I know that are right there affected, but they could be potentially affected by this. So if I can indulge the council, I promise that I will have an up or no vote. I think it's going to be up, but there might be some tweaking to this. I just want to make sure I have that conversation prior, and I haven't had that ability, and I apologize for that. So if I could, I'd like to table this for just till the next meeting, and I'll move it at the next meeting. If no one has a problem with that.
Second to table it?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Non-debatable? Okay. Further petitions. Oh, let's vote on it. On Councilor McCarthy's motion to table this matter until the next meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries.
Thank you.
Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Hemingway Road to hold a block party at Osgood Park on Tuesday, July 4th, 2017, from 9 to 5 p.m. with a rain date of Saturday, July 8th.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be granted.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, this is one of a couple of block parties in our neighborhood that's that day. This is a good time for everybody, and anybody in that area that wants to drop by, do so. There's usually one there. There's one on Shore Avenue generally that I'm sure will be in for the next meeting. So we have fun on July 4th in Ward 5.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Terrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have license applications for public guides.
Councilor Ryan.
Move granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, under Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 Tag Day license applications.
Councilor Ryan.
Move refer to the Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion on Councilor Ryan's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 claims.
Councilor Ryan.
Move refer to the Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion on Councilor Ryan's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance relative to Chapter 2, Section 2-956, School Committee Compensation of Members.
Councilor Famico.
That's Councilor Ryan's committee.
Move for adoption, second and final passage.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? No discussion? On Councilor Ryan's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Councilor Fury.
Motion to adjourn, Madam President.
Undebatable.
Adjourn.
All those in favor?